Hi guys, it's Colouring with Liv. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be going over how I coloured this gold border using some cheap markers. I am first colouring it with a medium gold colour. So I have a lighter yellow, which my lightest yellow will go in the light parts, and this is sort of like a medium colour because later on we'll be going over this with some darker colours to create more shadow. So you have to allow some room to create those shadows. So here I'm using a Crayola marker, so this is going to be my lightest yellow. This might be from the pastel set, so I have the 100 Crayola marker set plus the pastel set, so I have them all mixed up together, so I'm not too sure which one is which. But I also use later on another yellow, which I don't think I did on this bit to begin with, but later on I started to think, oh, I could have like a slightly orangish yellow to have even like more depth to create a nicer transition. So yeah, I was just experimenting on how to do gold with markers. I haven't worked with markers that much, so it was quite a nice surprise for myself that I managed to do this, and I quite enjoyed it. And that the fact that I was able to do it with some cheap markers rather than expensive markers as well made me happy. So I just, yeah, so here I'm doing like a base layer. So just creating like a flat layer. So just focusing on where the lighter bits are and the darker bits are. And then when I was going around the border, I did mess it up a little bit, but I still carried on and just tried to fix it as much as I could. So here I'm using the yellow in between, but as I carried on this gold border page, I didn't use the gold in the middle for everything. I just used it on certain places. What I found that the best bit to do on creating like a gold effect is just kind of going in and focusing with the shadows. So I did that with this marker plus my Stabilo Fineliners. I know, right? Fineliners, who would have thought? So I have a nature set that I found here in France. It was a limited edition set. So I'm not too sure how easy it is to find these Fineliners, but you might be able to find them in a bigger set. So first of all, I'm just creating that base layer of like a flat colour, and then I will be going in with my shadows. So I have a dark brown, my darkest brown, and then I have like a regular brown for the medium part, and then this kind of beigeish one for the lightest bit. So those three colours were what I used to kind of create more of the shadows and more of the depth. So just focus going in the corners and where the shadows would be. So I thought that with something like gold, you don't want to put it everywhere because it will be quite flat. So you want that kind of where the light is hitting, and you just want to kind of create like bits of darker areas through that line, if that makes sense. So on this one, that's where I created my shadows, but on a later bit, as I was going round the gold border on the left side of this double page spread, I actually went in on the more of the corners of the leaf rather than the edges. So you can just experiment and see what works for you. So here I've done my dark bit, and now the brown, and then the beigeish lighter fine liner, and that's what I repeated with this bit for the gold. And when I was working with markers, I thought that you had to work quite quickly before everything dried. But doing this page, I realised that actually you can work slowly, a little bit like coloured pencils. So if you're interested in coloured pencils, I've also done a little tutorial of how I coloured gold with coloured pencils on my moth page in Worlds of Wonder. So it's the part 2 version of that moth page. And all these markers here that I'm using on this page are aqua markers or water soluble markers. So if you have alcohol markers, then make sure you use all alcohol markers if you're mixing them. Or if you have water-based ones, make sure they're all water-based so that they will actually blend together. I haven't tried mixing them, but I would just stick to using one or the other. And especially in a book like this, I found that it did go through the page a little bit, but if you're working with alcohol markers, it'll go through the page a lot more. So as you can see, I'm just working in those shadows and just repeating that process of doing that dark, medium and light. And then I grab my other thicker brush pen that I started off with to go over the middle bit of that shadow. So as I went through the border, if there was something that I felt like, oh, maybe I could try something to add a little bit of depth, I tried it. So it doesn't have to be completely uniform. You can just add some things like I did. So I'll let you enjoy the rest of this with some music. If you want to watch the time lapse of how I created this whole page, I didn't record the entire thing because I was using my phone and it got quite annoying. But I'm hoping to have a camera set up soon so that I don't have to worry about holding the camera with one hand. Alright, well, if you like this video, give it a like, a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll let you enjoy the rest of this and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.